This is Daf Yerushalmi Kilayim, and we got at the Ches Amrav yesterday. Today is supposed to be Ches Amrav Daf Ches. I'm going to start again because I stopped actually in the middle of a sentence yesterday. Let's do it rough because there's a little indentation here in B'chaim Kanievsky. So I thought we were at the end of a topic, but we're not. We're in the middle of a topic. And we stopped in the middle of a sentence, literally. So we're going to start from Kamada Tamar, which is the fourth line down. And in the Vilna, that is on down on the base, the fifth line from the bottom. So, this is actually a question. Kamada Tamar Mutar Tachlos Kavasam Mutar Zero. Just not like yesterday we said, this is we guessed there's some reason why. It was mutar l'hachzir, but whatever reason we gave, it's not a great reason, and in fact, the Gemara rejects it. So it says, "Kamad Tamar mutar tachlos kavasam mutar l'hachzir." Amar Rabbi Yossi, no. Nami nitonina nitonim b'Shabbos. We don't know. Also, we also learn nitonim b'Shabbos. That and normally, often nami din would be a raya. Here it does not seem to be a raya. It seems to be a dechia. And he says that, no. It only says nitolim b'Shabbos. And Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yossi says that's Rabbi Shimon. In other words, Rabbi Shimon was matir to take it on Shabbos because whatever happens inadvertently. It's not deliberately moving muktzah, not deliberately making a hole, whatever, but to put him back, no, we don't let you put it back, the pugla and the lefes or the stone in the ground, etc. on Shabbos, because then you're really making a hole, and that's not a davar miskavin, because you want that hole to be there to store your vegetables. Now, Rava I don't know if it rejects Rava that who said that. No, I don't get that. Okay. I'm Rabbi Serbun. V'atanin on Shvius. So it says, wait. Our mission said Shvius, right? You're allowed to do all this stuff during Shemitah. Etc. So it says, if the whole issue is Rabbi Shimon, the whole head is Rabbi Shimon, Davar Shem Miskavin. Islam Emar Shvius. What does Shvius have to do with Davar Shem Miskavin, right? What's the connection? Isla Mema de Shvis Rabbi Shimon. So the Rosh Sirilio and Reb Chaim, they both take out the next three words, and they start immediately from the Rabbi Shimon Matir B'Svicha Shvis. And the way they read it says Rabbi Shimon is matir b'shvicha shvius, and actually the way the Rabbi Chaim is a continuous sentence. Isa mema shvius to Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon matir b'shvicha shvius v'acha aramar hachein. The Rabbi Shimon says that. I'm not sure I like this shot. 1 second. Okay, yes, this is the way it works. So in our Mishnah, the Mishnah is Mati Mishum Svichei Shvius. That's what it's saying. It's Mati Mishum Svichei Shvius because of it didn't grow. It was put there in order to stockpile. So the way Reb Chaim learns the question, it's not what does Rabbi Shimon do with Shvius, but rather the way what is how could Shvius be what chiddush in Shvius according to Rabbi Shimon? Rabbi Shimon matir svichei Shvius. So says there is no problem with svichei Shvius altogether. Here we say it is only mutter because of it's was put there for stockpiling, not for growing. It's matter that if it was for growing, it would be a problem with svichim. But Shimon doesn't hold the svichim. So ever what would be the issue? So what I said before, and now that I shifted gears to Chaim, I wrote in the Side Gemara that what is asking Isam Shvius to Rabbi Shimon, Kol Manyan Het Shvius the Isam Mishnah, the Shittas of Shimon Davar Shem Miskavin. That's not the Pshat Gemara, at least not according to Reb Chaim, and according to rather the Reb Chaim, and it's based on the Maran Fulda. That question is, how can we Reb Chaim asks, how can we push that it's mutter? That the Maran Fulda is actually slightly different. He says that the inference of our Mishnah is that if the alim are not magulim, the leaves are not revealed, so then the leaves are not revealed, so then there would be a problem with Shvis. And according to Shimon, there's never a problem with Shvis. So how can that work out according to Shimon? So how can you say that this is our Mishnah is Rabbi Shimon, and because the Shabbos okay, Rabbi Shimon miskavein, our Mishnah can't be like Rabbi Shimon by Shvis. Okay, so as that's more, I'm forgot that Rabbi Shimon makti b'svicha shvius. That's not the issue here. Even though Rabbi Shimon allows b'svicha shvius, it's Rabbi Shimon kedusha shvius. He does hold there's an issue of kedusha shvius. In other words, okay, you can buy svichim, but they have kedusha shvius. So our Mishnah is saying, our Mishnah is saying that it goes like Rabbi Shimon because we're saying that not only do you not choshesh because of Svicha Shvius, of course, Rabbi Shimon's not that, but not even because of Kedusha Shvius, because you put it there not to grow, but rather just to be stocked well. Okay, instead of Shnei Minim Bebika, Shnei Minim Bechurba, Shnei Minim, you planted two types in a valley, two types in a ruin, two types in, and you divide them up with a fence. Yochanan are Potter, Rabbi Yochanan says you are exempt from the Yerushalmi Kilayim. Rabbi Shimon Lakish Amar Chayev. Rabbi Shimon Lakish says you're Chayev in Yerushalmi Kilayim. The sort of Chaim explains that you toss them into a bika and they scatter, and now they're more than 6 feet away from each other. Or after they scatter, you toss them, you put a gather between them. So Rabbi Yehuda says you're potter because they're separated. Shimon Lakish says you're chayiv because since you took them out to plant them as one, it's still kilayim. And evidently, because of Chaim, we're talking about where you had in mind that this would fall within the 6 tvachim. Otherwise, you had in mind to separate them with a fence and it should be potter. So that's the Gemara says, but Moda Rabbi Shimon Lakish the Real Gabi Hayam. If you plant on top of a sea where things are going to disperse automatically, Patra Gabi Sloim, Agabi Petra, on top of a Petra is a rock. I think it's a rock. Yeah, it's a hard rock like Petra in Jordan. Amen. Can't grow there. So therefore, you had in mind that it shouldn't grow, or either by the ocean it could be that it's not going to grow because it's in the ocean, or they're going to split apart because that's the nature of an ocean. But in any event, you didn't have in mind to plant them together, and they weren't planted together because they grew. It's an aberration. So Agabi Sloim, which is on top of stones. Agabi Trushim, top of land which is not arable. Shu Potter. Mother Shimon Lakish also b'zorei almanas l'chalkon gader shu Potter. If you plant them in order the intent of splitting them with a fence, it is Potter. So I wrote inside the Gemara that one can clear if this Gemara has to do with Isha Mishum Chitza, Isha Mishum Mamoino. In other words, Rabbi Yochanan says you're Potter because you intended to grow apart. It's like Chitzav. And Rabbi Yochanan says you're forget it. It's too far fetched. Okay, Amar Baka Katangia Moder Rabbi Shimon Lakish Leinian Shabbos Ad Shetanuach. It has to rest. In other words, there is no when it's going through the air. Shimon Lakish might be mechayiv you, perhaps he tossed it in a way that you intended to line and make a line, but he can't do that by Shabbos, because Shabbos there is no chiyuv on Azriya until it lands on the ground. So, and perhaps even until it's absorbed in the land, no. So the fascinating thing, according to Reish Lakish, Lotisa Karmacha Kilayim means don't toss seed into your field, which is going to create Kilayim. Lotisa Karmacha Kilayim means don't let it land the way it's going to create Kilayim. So if you tossed it, according to Shimon Lakish, yeah, it works because of Isham Shimon. Yeah, according to Lakish, Isham Mishum Amayna. So your deed was to, here your moment is you tossed it. Well, maybe it's still there, but so what? You tossed it. Right, and you're tossing it is your maisa, and your maisa was a maisa which could lead to kilayim. So over lotiza karmacha kilayim. According to Rabbi Yochanan, we have to look at how it falls out, because that's all kolu in the original maisa, and isha mishum chitzav. In other words, how's it going to land is retroactively determines what the status of your tossing it. I'm not sure it works out, but it's an interesting point to explore. Okay, be that as it may, so this the Shimon look down. We say because didn't apply because you eventually you toss them almanas, and you're eventually going to build a fence. And that then, therefore, also because here it's Riyah by Shabbos is defined not by tossing it, but rather by planting it in the ground. Okay, Masisa Pliga Rabbi Yochanan. Mishnah seems to Rabbi Yochanan. It says, Rechito Sar Kachas Hareza Kilayim. And was Gemara assumes it's talking about where you tossed them. Plus 11 is saying Shisha. No, says Gemara, they're within 6 by 6. Rabbi Yochanan. And Chaim, I choose Shisha Shishim Kurachim, Betoch Set Tvua, or Mukafin Goder. You have to have, we're talking about a scenario where it is specifically going to create kilayim. In other words, it's not tossed broadly, so it's in a constricted area. So the Gemara asks, Bahada. Here it says Kiyada, but Chaim Mishum is going to change it to Pirada Rabbi Yehuda Omer Eni Kilayim. This is in our Mishnah, he says not kilayim until you do 2 wheat and 1 barley. Why? Since they're within a field, which is or in a constricted area within 6 fakim of each other, and they're surrounded with a fence. So why should you not be chayim? Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Yehuda, remember, stay yerak tefach. He follows his known line of reasoning, which he says that in a field of a yerek, you only need a separation of tefach. Once there's a separation of tefach, it's no longer considered to be kilayim. So here too, within 6 tefachim, within a god, it's not enough. It has to be within a tefach. It's interesting that the Tos Yitzchak wants to elaborate on this. He says that it's partial to the Gemara that which Rabbi Yehuda requires 3 seeds is that kilayim should be betoch sadeh. But you need a sadeh, which is comprised of 2 seeds, and kilayim, which is betoch sadeh, right? So when it says the other, right, something similar. So therefore, the t'nai of sadeh only works if it's at the time you're planting, they're within a tefach of each other. So at the time planting the tefach of each other, that's considered to be a b'stei yerek tefach. But that could be b'stei yerek tefach. Is that even b'stei yerek tefach, even if it's 2 seeds? No. I don't think so. That's what Yosef says. He says if it's within a tefach, so that makes the field in a different way. I don't really hear that right now. No, my client says it rather conventionally. Okay, I'm not sure what to do with it. What to do with the Tos Yitzchak. So, simple meaning is that Rabbi Yehuda holds, he holds it's not Kilayim. No, 1 second. The Mishnah said, yeah, what's the question, Rabbi Yehuda, Mishnah? So the way Reb Chaim explains it is the shear of harchaka is a tefach, and once it's a tefach, it's no longer a kilayim, and certainly then by grain also with the rice a tefach would be enough. So therefore, if they're within 6, it should be permitted. So why is it not permitted? So the answer is, since you're doing 3 seeds. So the two seeds, I guess the way Mechatoz also means, the 2 seeds, the chita sora chovshin chita shbeineim, the 2 seeds of the chita on one side, sora on the other side, or I know why there's a chita and sora in the middle, they envelop it, and therefore it's also kilayim, even if it's within 6, not just if it's in 1. Maybe Tos Yitzchak is pretty good this way. In other words, 3 zroim means it makes it b'toch hasadeh. Otherwise, you need a tefach to make it b'toch hasadeh. But 3 zroim makes it b'toch hasadeh. That could be. Okay. So Rabbi say tefach, and therefore, if it's not a tefach, it's within tefach. It has to be 3 zroim. He wants to ask a question from Rabbi Zira. He'll learn Rabbi Yehuda from the Rabbanim. Come on, Rabbanim, Isser base rova, an Isser of a base rova. In other words, you need a chaka of a base rova, which is 10 amos. That's the Rabbanan. Vilkos vava shisha, but again malchus, or you get malchus for 6 and you don't get malchus 6 and 6. You don't matter, but Isser shisha al shisha vilkos. Isser shisha. Sorry, Isser 6 and 6 is Rabbanan. Vilkos is the rice is tefach, right? So if that's the case. V'atani Rabbi Yehuda matir. The Brisa says Rabbi Yehuda's matir if you didn't plant 3 seeds. It sounds like even the Rabbanan it's mutter. Why should it be any worse than planting within 6, which is Rab Aser? So the Gemara doesn't seem to give an answer to this. Seems a little bit difficult. Yeah, I think so. Where are we on that class? Yeah, so we're up to Daf Tes. Up to Kasha, my time, Rabbi Yehuda. We'll come back to that tomorrow.